Hey everybody, it's Tom Zuba. Look who's here.
How are you?
Hi Jessica.
We're here together.
We are here sitting on the bench with each other. So the last you and I spoke was Thanksgiving Day.
It was.
How did it go?
Seems like a long time ago.
It
was good. It was very different for us. Lily and I were in quarantine. So she tested positive for COVID and she has fully recovered and she's doing very well. So Thanksgiving was very different for us this year. It was quiet. We put up our tree and we decorated it.
What are you leaving out?
But it was hard.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. We were more isolated, but we reached out to our friends and to our loved ones, and we were able to enjoy it together, just in a very different way.
What would you say you learned this year that will have a more peaceful impact for next Thanksgiving?
Well, I just rely on my friends and my family to reach out. If I'm feeling something, I know right away before I get into a dark place, but it doesn't have to be dark. I can reach out and I can say, this is what I'm feeling. We can talk about it. You know, Lily and I, we were decorating the tree with all of the memories of the old ornaments, and we would cry, and happy tears, sad tears, and we shared that together. So it was.
Do you have a sense? Do you know how Lily feels when she sees her mom cry?
She usually cries with me, and she gives me a big hug, and we talk about how it's okay to cry, and then we usually end up laughing afterwards, because then we'll automatically talk about something that makes us happy, because although there's sad memories, there's so many good ones.
So you, unlike a lot of moms and dads out there, you are comfortable letting your daughter see you cry.
Absolutely. She's so comfortable with it. And I will say my extended family as well. My parents are really, really good about it as well. We cry a lot, and then usually laughter follows, and then sometimes back to tears, but that's very normal for us.
Is your dad comfortable with you letting see you cry?
Yes, he is. My dad,
with him letting see, you know what I'm saying?
With him being emotional and
your dad will cry in front of you.
Yes, and I will. My dad is so private. He is John Wayne. He is a true dinosaur. They don't make many men like my dad anymore, but he is a loving protector, but he wears his heart on his sleeve.
So I remember when my daughter Erin died, in the hospital room, her physician was sobbing and the nurses were sobbing. And I remember thinking, they understand what happened. Yeah. I was so comforted by the fact that they allowed themselves to weep in front of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're humans too. And that's an outpouring of love and loss and grief for you, the human experience. So
if there's crying this holiday season, yay! Crying is a concrete, tangible sign that healing is occurring. Let that voice inside of your head be reprogrammed. Let it say, I am healing, I am healing, I am healing. It's really important to remember that seemingly contradictory feelings and emotions exist at the exact same time.
Absolutely, and to feel it and not be numb or not feel like I'm still crying. Why am I still crying? I'll always cry, and I'll always laugh and smile. It's part of it.
The only way to guarantee that we stop crying is if we stop loving.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to stop loving Erin, Trish, Rory, then I will stop crying.
Absolutely.
I'm not willing to do that.
I'm not willing to do that either. It's a beautiful part of the process. It means that we're alive and we're paying attention.
So one of the things that I do every day in the winter is I consciously light a candle. When I see the candle, it brings me into the present moment. This candle is not flickering in the past. It's not flickering in an unlived future, which terrorizes so many of us. These candles are flickering in the present moment, which is the point of power. Whatever your version of God is, exists in the present moment. Your beloved is accessible to you in the present moment. When I look at a candle, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a daily ritual that any one of you who is learning to live with any type of dreams ending, which is creating grief inside of you, light a candle. When you see it, say thank you. Think of one thing that you're thankful for. So you and I are sitting together. There is a virus.
Yes, there is.
We
It's
are
real.
very, very, very aware of the fact that there is a virus that is wreaking havoc right now on the entire planet. And sadly, that the projections are it's going to get worse before it gets better. So explain to the people why we have the nerve to be together.
To be here sitting together. So we had hoped, and we had been planning this for several months, that we would be able to be here together. And then, of course, we found out that we needed a quarantine, and then we found out that Lily was positive. So everything was kind of up in the air. But right before we left, we tested. We made sure we tested 3 times. So we were going in every week consistently, and I needed to make sure before I felt comfortable traveling that I was positive, or that I was negative, sorry, and that Lily was no longer positive and that she was negative. So we both cleared the virus. We knew that we were negative in order for us to be sitting here safely and comfortably today.
We believe in science. We believe in taking our temperature. We believe in social distancing. We believe in masks. We do.
Absolutely, taking all those precautions.
I am well aware of the fact that there are more and more people that are following us who today are living with the death of someone by the virus. I don't take that lightly. I am well aware of the fact that there are people listening today, or that who will be listening to the recording, and someone that they love is in ICU. I am well aware of the fact that there are doctors, nurses, social workers, therapists that are either watching us or are the husbands and the wives and the brothers and the sisters and the mothers and the fathers of you. We are not insensitive to them at all. We send them light and love and hope and strength. And we hold the vision that these vaccines are exactly what they promise to be. That yes, there is a period of increased pain that we're going to walk through. And as always, the light will appear. The light will appear. The light will appear. And the question will be, what have I learned? What have I learned? What have I learned? What have I learned? I'm also well aware of the fact that we're getting into the holiday season. Many of us, I suppose you could completely cut yourself off. If you're in your house and you don't watch television, you could cut yourself off.
It would be a
holidays.
choice. You
Yeah.
absolutely could.
Right. There is, I'm going to suggest, actually a new way to do the holidays. There's a new way to do the holidays that we can actually make the conscious decision to co-create something that feeds us. Something that's going to lift me up. It can be a horrible mess. It can be, devastation and loneliness and sadness. It can be that.
It can be if we chose to create that.
I'm going to introduce you to 3 people that I care about very, very much, who have lived through more than one holiday with the death of someone that we love. And my hope is, my prayer, my intention is that through this conversation, we might flip on a light switch for you, and you might say, hey, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. Maybe it can be different for me this year. So I want to bring out my friends Kim and Kirk and Dawn. We are well aware of the virus. We have taken all of the precautions. Welcome, Kim.
Hi.
Kim is Garrett's mom. Many of you have met Kim. Next to Kim is Dawn. Move in, Dawn, so people can see a little bit more. Dawn is Dylan's mom. And this is my friend, Kirk, who goes with Kim, who is Garrett's dad. And I'm wearing Garrett's slippers. Thanks for being here, you guys.
You're welcome.
So, can you go back and remember that very, very first Christmas after your beloved died? And if so, can you paint for us an honest picture of what that was like?
I can because it was here. We spent the first Christmas here with our very immediate family. And I was not prepared for how difficult and painful it could be. Garrett had died in May, and that Christmas was, the only word I can remember was brutal. It was very, very hard. I spent more time crying than I did smiling or laughing. And I had a lot of things to be thankful for. I had grandchildren with me. My children were with me. My surviving children were with me. And we did the best we could. My children, grandchildren, they all helped. They were also grieving, but we did the best we could. I didn't have any tools. My husband and I struggled. We were unprepared for the first year.
So it surprised you how brutal it was. How about you?
Mine's the same. I started out telling myself it's just another day. You know, I either consciously or subconsciously, I was telling myself that, trying to get through it. And it was the opposite of that for me. It was, like Kim said, it caught me off guard. It was, the whole atmosphere was way more than I was prepared for. I was not prepared for how hard it was going to be. Because I kept telling myself it wasn't that big a deal, but I was wrong.
How about you, Dawn?
Well, so Dylan, died in November. So I went boom right into Thanksgiving and right into Christmas. And for me, it was very numbing. I had no really feeling. Like Kim said, I had no tools at that time because I was just still in shock, honestly. So I went through the motions of Christmas with my family, but I didn't stay long. I literally kind of went to my sister's house. We did not gift that year. I did tell my family because there's no way I could go Christmas shopping. I just couldn't do it. I said, instead of gifts, then just give money to your favorite charity. I just told people we're not going to do the gift thing. But I was numb. That's about the best way I can describe it.
Did it surprise you? Was there anything that surprised you, or was it pretty much what you expected it to be?
I really expected us not to do it at all.
Okay. In retrospect, do you wish you would have said, I'm going to stay in bed?
No, I really am glad at least that I went and had dinner with my family. But no, I don't regret not doing it.
I'm here to say, if your heart says the very best thing for me to do this holiday season is to stay in bed and shut the door, I give you permission to do it. It's one day. Someone you love died. You want to stay in bed because that's how you take care of you. Stay in bed.
Absolutely.
What was your first one?
It was about 6 months after Olivia passed. And I had the blessing and the privilege of already worked with you through one of the programs. So I had started to build a little bit of a community, and I reached out to the people within that group that I felt closest with. And there was many of them. That's how I first met Kim, my very, very first group with you, through Zoom in that November. So I reached out, and I had a loving family that was very, very supportive, that did the shopping for me. I had such a hard time even doing Amazon online shopping. It was hard. So I had the privilege of having a supportive family, and I walked through some of the motions, but I had already started to have my community that I could reach out to, and I knew that I wasn't doing it alone. So that I'm grateful for that.
One of the things that I've learned, and I can't say it enough, is that if you think that your precious parents, your precious siblings, your dear aunts and uncles and your friends are going to mention the name of the person that you love who died, 99.9% guaranteed they will not. They will not. How do I know that? I lived through my daughter Erin's death, as did my family. I lived through my wife Trisha's death, as did my family. My son Rory's death from brain cancer, the 6-month odyssey, my family gathered. My family circled the wagons. We held each other. We researched. We were a unit. Rory died on February 22nd, 2005. That very first Christmas, we did what we always do. We go to my parents' house. The kids are so excited about this because after dinner, there's 30 grandkids, more than that. All the grandkids are in the basement. Everybody's seated, and we either go oldest to youngest or youngest to oldest. And at that time, all families were giving all kids gifts. So there were huge piles of gifts. My memory is that year we started with the oldest. So there was Danny, and then the next one, and then the next one.
Oh.
And then there was the space for Rory. I can feel it now. I mean, my entire body. We skipped right over him. Nobody said his name. It was as if he never existed. Where I'm sitting right now, does that surprise me? Hell no, it does not. Is that personal? It is not. Can I believe it? Honestly, I cannot. I cannot. That nobody would say, there's a little boy who was part of our family and he died, and we are going to have a moment of silence right now for him.
Yeah.
Was I in any position to do that? No. Is it possible that that's going to be your experience? I promise you. Yes. Be proactive. So with that in mind, over the years, what have you learned that has helped you create a holiday season that feeds you? If it doesn't feed you, that doesn't create pain and creates more peace. What concrete, tangible tools can we offer folks that they might say, yeah, I could try that. What comes to mind?
Well, for me, it did take me a little while to help develop that and what I wanted to co-create with that. So what I've done now is that I put up a small tree, and I took painstakingly, before I didn't want to look at them, the ornaments of Dylan, but I brought him up from the basement. I put Christmas music on because that's what we would typically do when we decorated our tree. But it's only Dylan's tree. And so it has all of like, it has his homemade ornaments. I mean, I still have one that has pretzels on it, and the pretzels are like almost disintegrated. But it gives me so much. I sit in my chair and I look over at it, and it's like Dylan's right here with me. I mean, he's never left, but now even more present at Christmas time, because that was one of his all-time favorite holidays, of course, as kids. But so yeah, that's what I've done. And I've also purchased gifts that either Dylan would give me, or I would buy a gift for Dylan that I think he would like. Now I have used some of them. Some I've given to charity, but that's what I've done.
How many years was it before you did Dylan's Christmas tree?
4 years.
Okay, so 4 years, 4 years. And then have you done it?
Yep. I've done it ever since.
That first year?
Last year and this year.
That first year, did it bring you joy? Did it put a smile on your face?
I cried through looking at the ornaments and which one I was going to pick. And then of course, each ornament that I picked up brought a memory back, which at that time, of course I cried. I mean, it was, he's not physically here. But then as I put it on the tree and put it where I wanted it and created that whole beautiful thing. And at the end, I look back at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks, Dylan, because I know he was right there chirping in my ear going, Mom, come on, just put the freaking ornament on the tree.
To me, there's something so powerful about holding something.
Yes.
Dylan held this. And sometimes I can even remember like Rory holding this thing, and I can picture him holding it. Yeah. And I guess we can either say yes to that connection, or we can say, that's too painful. Right. That's too painful. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. You get to do whatever you want. In my experience, we've already walked through fire. So the fire involved with picking up the ornament or the jacket or the football or the violin, the fire involved with it is worth getting to the other side of the fire and going, oh, this is a tangible connection. This is a tangible connection.
Yeah. And the power that ornament box had over me.
Yes.
I released that. I surrendered to that.
Say that again.
The power that ornament box had over me, and that I would continue to let it control me almost, that I couldn't get to a peaceful part of Christmas. So I surrendered that. I'm like, it's not going to have power over me.
Okay, that had power over you because of a story that you were telling yourself. Mm-hmm. Can you identify that story that you were telling yourself about that box of ornaments?
Yeah, that story was telling me if I opened that box, it was going to create pain for me, and the fact that my son was not physically here anymore.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. So the shift in your perception was, what about the pain that it was going to create for you? How did that shift?
Gradually. I mean, it didn't. So, because I thought, okay, if I open the box up and I can't do it, or it's just, then I will say, okay, it's not time. But I opened the box up and I thought, okay, if I just put maybe 2 ornaments on, maybe that's all I can do right now. And then, but as I kept doing it and remembering all of those ornaments and as he brought them home from school, and I was like, it surrounded me really with love.
It's almost like Dylan's going, here, Mom, here's another ornament.
Yes,
here, sweetheart,
yes,
you can put it here. Okay, do another one. You can I'm with you. Do it. Yeah. And then that helps you shift the other perception. Dang, he's right here.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And the beauty that we created that tree. I mean, it was very fulfilling for me.
I love that you were giving yourself a gentle approach as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to open up the box and I'm going to see how that feels.
Yeah.
And giving yourself the grace to say, okay, if it felt like too much, maybe you would put it away.
Yes. Yeah.
If she can do it, you can do it. If she can do it, you can do it. Yeah. Thanks, Don.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that, love that. Anybody else?
I remember the first Thanksgiving, we were looking for something to do that was healing. And so we identified a family in the local elementary school who was in need of things. And I put an email out to, or a text out to our entire, extended family. And it was amazing, the response. We all wanted to do something. And people just brought by and brought by and brought by. And then we took those baskets and we met the family at school, and they were very, very grateful to receive it. And it gave us something to focus on other than our own selves and our missing.
Yeah, that's one of the suggestions that I offer in the holiday program, that if it's your child that died, if it's your spouse, if it's your parent, if it's your sibling, especially during the holidays of 2020, I promise you, there's a sibling, there's a child, there's a spouse in your town that is alive, but that is dreading the holiday season. Whatever gifts, whatever love, whatever generosity you would have extended to your living person, move out of your comfort zone a little bit and extend that to another living, breathing human being. Back to what we were talking about last Thursday, be the face of God to somebody else.
To somebody else in need, absolutely.
The person, as I always say, who's going to benefit the most from that
Absolutely.
would be us. Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't think we can be reminded of that enough. Just to go back to Hamilton, look around, look around, look around.
And in that moment, when we were
Yeah.
giving those baskets to that family, I felt blessed.
Yes.
And I felt, abundance in my own life in that moment. Because I knew I had more.
The very first Christmas.
The very first
The very first
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving after Garrett died.
I realized right then I had more in that moment with Garrett, not here, handing those baskets to that family than they did.
Okay, so this is a new way. This is a new way, because what Kim just said, the very first Thanksgiving after her son died, she felt blessed and grateful for a moment. Blessed and grateful. So feeling blessed and grateful can sit right next to feeling like, I hope to God I don't wake up the next day. It's not either or, it can be both.
Yes.
And we get to decide, am I going to feed this or am I going to feed this? Which one am I going to feed? Is it easy?
No,
No.
I don't cry as often anymore. No, it's been 4.5 years, but I definitely, miss Garrett every single day of my life. I wish he was here today. In my perfect world, Garrett would still be alive, walking this earth with us.
And what's beautiful about this woman, I have never physically met her son, but for me, he does walk with me every single day.
Yeah.
Literally, 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 literally.
You see his pictures in the cabin.
Yep.
I feel his presence. I feel like I know him.
We light a candle every day upstairs. He's, at home, we light a candle. To this day, we light every night when we get ready to sit down, eat supper, watch whatever we're going to watch on TV. My ritual is to light the Garrett candle on the kitchen counter. And the last thing we do, Kirk does at night, is blow it out. And it's comforting. It brings me comfort.
And I know that there are people out there, and I hear ya, who are saying that would be too painful. That would be way too painful for me to light a candle in honor of, in memory of, in connection to my beloved who died. My advice to that would be try it. Try it, try it, try it. If you sob and sob and sob and you remind yourself that that's actually healing because you're releasing all the gunk inside of you, try it. How about you?
For me, at the beginning, I relied too much on my family to say his name, to bring him up, to talk about him. I thought they were my people, but when I went to them and turned to them, they were incapable of giving me the support that I needed at that time. And took me a while to figure it out because they had always been there for me before, and they were trying, but they didn't fulfill my needs, you know, that I needed at that time. So it was nothing against them. They just hadn't experienced the fire. They hadn't walked through the fire. So then we started connecting with people online. We connected with Tom, and he showed us a new way. You know, we connected with other people that had walked through the fire, and for me, it was very healing. And to start saying his name, Kim and I had this plan. I forgot the time frame. I was kind of in a fog at the time, but I was going to say his name at the family prayer. We had all our family there. I had it all planned out. I was going to say his name, and in the prayer, I chickened out. I didn't say his name because the story that I was telling myself, looking back on it, was I didn't want to make everybody else feel uncomfortable. You know, I go, I'm talking about my dead child's name at a family gathering is going to make everybody feel uncomfortable. So I chickened out. That's the truth. And so then I got a do-over, the next family get together, and I said his name, and I was proud of myself, and I was happy that I did it. And I say his name every family get together. Every time I say the prayer, I say his name. And it's built upon that, I believe. We tell funny stories about Garrett. We talk about his matzo nacho dip he used to make for our family get-togethers. That's basically, the truth is, that's the only thing he would contribute. But we still like it. Yeah, it's Garrett's matzo nacho dip. And so we do that in his memory, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And so now he's a part of every one of our holidays. He's always with us, and it's the ripple effect has been a beautiful thing to see. It's when we started doing it, when Kim and I started mentioning his name and telling stories, our children grasped upon that, and they started seeing it was okay too. It was very beautiful and very powerful. And I love seeing that in my other children, that they mentioned his name. Our grandchildren mention his name all the time now. He's a big part of our family, and it's, you know, it was a ripple effect from, I believe, from Kim and I saying his name at the beginning. And so those are some of the beautiful gifts that have come to us by getting the ball rolling, I guess, and including him in our family. He's part of our everyday lives. He's part of all our big family get-togethers. And so it's been a beautiful thing, the ripple effect, to see it in my children and grandchildren.
And I want to follow up with something that's true for me. This is what I've chosen to believe. Many of us hold on to this belief, like you did, that I don't want to make other people at the family gathering uncomfortable. So I'm going to choose not to say the name of my loved one. This is what I've chosen to believe. It is not possible for me to make you uncomfortable without your permission. I'm going to say that again. It's not possible for me to make you uncomfortable without your permission. So it's a two-way dance that we're doing. The bottom line is, whether or not you feel uncomfortable, that's not about me, that's about you and the way you are receiving whatever it is that the next person is putting out there. That's what I've come to believe. That's what I've come to learn. How about you?
Well, we started doing this the first year, and it sounds like a small thing, but it was significant for us. But when I was writing the, to and from on every package and every gift, I always include Olivia's name along with Lily and I. And I do that on birthday cards, Christmas cards. I always sign Olivia's name as well. And if I don't, Lily does.
Have you ever gotten any backlash about that?
No.
Do you care?
No.
Who is a big, you said it's a big thing for us. Who is us? You and Lily?
For
You and
Lily
your
and I,
daughter?
yeah,
Okay.
and I think my parents
Your
as well.
parents too?
They were, of course, we're so close, but they were such a big part of our journey and through Olivia's treatment. But not all family members mention her name that first holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I did take that personally. I did. I didn't know, and maybe you had said it, but in early grief, and I still am a slow learner, we need to be reminded over and over and over again that we have to give
Thank you, Maureen
others,
Malgren.
permission we have to teach others what is comfortable for us. And this is what we're doing. We are, Olivia is still a part of our family, and she's, gifting these Christmas gifts, or she's signing this card because she is still, a member of us.
Yeah, and we can choose, and I've chosen it many, 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 many times, I promise you, to sit here and say, well, those jerks, those MFs, they don't know, they should, they're hurting me, they're so cruel, they're blah, blah, blah. That creates more pain for me. That creates more pain for me. This is the truth. This is my truth. We never, ever, 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 ever talk about what it's like to live with the death of someone we love. That's the last taboo. In the old days, we didn't talk about sex. Now we talk about it all the time. We didn't talk about cancer. Now we do. The last taboo, death, death, death. So the truth of the matter is, how are they going to know when it's their turn, when it's their time, which it will be, unless we figure out how we can become the gentle, graceful, loving, kind teachers. It really is up to us to, when and if we're able, to turn the light on and go, hey, we could do this a different way.
And it gives others permission to do the same as we do it.
Totally.
And it becomes easier.
Every single human being, I firmly believe this, they are doing exactly what they need to do to survive. My family that day, what they needed to do to survive, nobody mentioned the dead kid. Nobody. I get it now. That day,
It's different.
yeah. I want to share one thing. That's not true. I'm sure I will share many things. But one thing that I would like to share is that first Christmas. So the skipping over Rory happened on the 25th. The 26th, I had already planned this. Sean, who was 10 at the time, I put him on a plane. We flew to Disney in Florida. Very conscious decision on my part. It was my third go round. We were in Disney the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, the 1st, the anniversary of his mom's death, and the 2nd, my daughter and his sister's birthday. We were in Disney the whole time. It was magical. It was mystical. It was spectacular. We escaped. We consciously escaped. We were at the Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve, seeing fireworks, surrounded by every single human being in a wheelchair and every mother with a stroller. Today it wouldn't be coronavirus safe. It was perfect for us. It was perfect. I literally got to run away from all of that.
Lovingly.
Yes.
With
yes.
intention.
With
I knew exactly what I was doing. And I wanted to prove to Sean, we will be happy again. We will be happy again.
Yeah.
So if this is another thing I'm going to talk about in the holiday program. If your best plan is to scrap everything and get as far away from the holidays, even if that's in your own home as you possibly can, do it. Do it. The person that knows best what you need this holiday season is you.
What worked for us one year, we did it. We didn't do it with intention and a plan, but we went away. I forgot the exact time and which holiday it was. It was before Christmas. We went away. We were doing other stuff, and we came back like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and it worked very well for us because we didn't have the big buildup into the holidays. And so, getting back, Tom went after, but we went before, not with intention, but it just worked out that way. And so we've done it twice since Garrett died. Gone away before the holidays, so we didn't have the big buildup going into it, and it worked well for us.
I've done that too, though. With Sean, he and I have flown to Florida for like 5 or 6 days right before Christmas. So one year, I think we came back on the 22nd. Oh, that was perfect.
That's when we came back the 22nd.
Yeah.
And we gave ourselves permission. We cut ourselves a lot of slack. The expectations, I lowered them of myself. I used to put a big meal on for everybody, a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure for families that don't have dead people, at the holidays. So in essence, Garrett gave me permission to back away from the big holidays, the big gathering, the big pressure I put on myself, and create a more intimate, smaller gathering with more meaning. And a lot less input from me because I still needed a lot of quiet, and I still do, not as much, but and it was almost enjoyable on that level. The second, third year, it's gotten better. I understand how I tick more, what I need, who brings me comfort, who doesn't, who drains me, who is part of my support, and I surround myself intentionally with those people.
So one of the things that we did this Thanksgiving at 4 p.m. Central, we had a Zoom gathering. Anyone that wanted to join us was welcome to join us. Those folks that had subscribed to my newsletter at tomzuba.com, they got the Zoom link. There were close to 50 families, 50 individual Zoom addresses. And we had a beautiful candle lighting ceremony, and we shared photographs of our beloveds and a few sentences. It was more powerful than I had anticipated. I believe that everyone that helped create that safe, sacred circle was glad they were there. We're going to do it again. Christmas Day, 4 p.m. Central. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, that you would like to have to look forward to, so you won't be all alone. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter at tomzuba.com, subscribe, you will get the link. How are you guys feeling about Christmas of 2020? There's a virus. You all have more knowledge, more wisdom, more tools. You have more support than you did that first. Let people know, what can it look like? How are you feeling about Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the fact that there's a new year coming?
Well, for me, it's going to probably look much similar to my Thanksgiving, because I have parents who aren't in the greatest of health. So we decided to do Zoom. I went on Zoom, I did the link, and and actually it was really, really nice. Luckily Zoom was allowing people to go beyond, because I just had the basic or whatever, to go beyond the 40 minutes. I mean, we chatted about Dylan, we chatted about our beloveds who weren't with us, and I didn't have to feel like I was putting my parents at risk. And so that was really a nice thing. So yeah.
Santa's at the door.
Oh.
Santa will be here shortly. Hold on.
So that's how I perceive my Christmas to be. I think we've already set that intention to do that.
So when you think about it, like, what kind of feelings come up when you think, oh, it's this early December, Christmas is coming?
Yeah, I'm very much relaxed about it. I really am. And like Kim said, it kind of gives us permission not to go, okay, well, what am I going to be making? What am I going to be you know, and Charles and I spent, you know, the day together just by ourselves. We ordered from a restaurant. I didn't cook, and it might be very similar for Christmas this year too.
So it's possible to feel relaxed.
Yes, yes. Because a lot of for me, a lot of times it's the days before creates so much anxiety for me. One, because I'm trying to pick out gifts, you know, like the right gifts and that kind of thing. And this time, you know, I just feel so much more relaxed about it. I really, really do.
Do you feel that being proactive, having a plan, kind of having a sense for how that day is going to unfold, that is helping you feel relaxed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Setting that intention of what you want it to look like.
Yes.
And the other thing for me, you know, I actually did the candlelight ceremony that you did on Zoom with my family. I started doing that last year. And my peeps were like, oh my God, we love this. You know, why haven't we done this before? Because it kind of created a structure, because I'm not one to talk off the fly too much. And so I kind of like how the candlelight ceremony, and then after that, we were able to discuss even more.
Did that surprise you, their reaction to it?
It did. It did. I thought, but they said, can we do this again?
So going into it, you were a little apprehensive,
Yeah.
but you were going to do it anyway.
Well, because I had that, you know, talking in my head that I'm not going to know if I can do this or not, you know. And my brother-in-law actually read it, and I gave myself a little bit of a, yeah.
You took care of yourself.
Yeah, he read it, but I did the candles. So.
Did he hesitate at all when you asked him to
Oh,
read
absolutely not.
it? Did you know he wouldn't?
Yes.
You picked the right person.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
The
Jamie was the
intention.
perfect person to do that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So how are you feeling, Kim?
I'm more relaxed like Dawn, yeah, and actually looking forward to, I've learned a lot about myself, what I am capable of and what I'm not, and I make sure that I build in a lot of me time with family gatherings or things that I'm required to do or that I plan to do. For me, thinking ahead helps, and having this plan A and B, and so just a lot. It's been brought down several notches.
Yeah. And the virus has helped with
Yeah,
that.
it has. It's given us even more permission to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, I'm looking forward to it now. Kim and I call it sucking joy out of our grandchildren. So it's a gift that Garrett's given me. It's a cliche not to take things for granted. And I tried, before Garrett died, I tried not to. I was aware of my blessings, but now the gift that Garrett gave me and counseling with Tom to stay in the present moment, you know, I'm going to make a conscious choice going into it that day. I'm going to observe my grandchildren, observe how my children interact with my grandchildren. I'm going to do my best, not perfectly, but do my best to stay in the present moment and suck the joy out of that. Just those instant moments, the joy in the grandchildren's eyes when they're opening the presents. I mean, and getting excited, you know, it makes me excited talking about it. And I'm very much looking forward to it this year. It's going to be here. And
So that's a big change for
it's
you.
a big change.
Big change.
Big change.
And that just didn't happen magically.
It happened gradually, and
You also have done a hell of a lot of work.
a lot of hard work, and a lot of specific tools, and going back over them again and again and again, and piecing things together, and maybe unpiecing something that's not quite right and piecing it together again.
That there's nothing easy.
Nothing easy, very much hard work, a lot of hard work.
How about you?
So much like what Kirk said, I really, really want to be present and be in the moment and taking the pressure off even more. So our plans are kind of in flux. Ideally, we would be spending Christmas morning at the farm with my parents, but I also want to make sure that everybody is safe. So typically the evening before we get together with an extended group of family and friends. I don't think that'll be happening this year. So we're just going to kind of roll with it. But one of the things that I've already consciously decided is that in addition to purchasing just stuff and feeling like I've got to do all this busy work just because it's what I've done in the past. I don't want to do that. I want to gift experiences versus things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think I've consciously been changing and growing, but certainly since COVID hit and so much of our life has changed, it's slowed down, I realized really the importance of living in the moment and that it's not all about the materialistic stuff, which I knew before, but it's just driving it home even more. So gifting experiences and travel and making
Time.
plans and time. So just got to be more conscious about how we're spending our time and we have free stockings up over our mantle, and one is for Olivia. We'll always be for Olivia.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things in the holiday program that I suggest is in your beloved stocking, consider you yourself inviting other people in the family to write your beloved a letter. Tell them about the year. Tell them how you're feeling. Put them in the stockings. Keep them in the stockings. Next year, do it. Next year, do it. Next year, do it. Think about the gift that you're creating for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So there's 3 gifts that I have to offer folks. One is, as I said, on Christmas Day, 4 p.m. Central, we're going to do a Zoom gathering. So none of us have to be alone. Everyone and anyone is invited. You have to have the Zoom link. You're going to get it from my newsletter at tomzuba.com. That's number 1. Number 2, and there's a 2.5. Number 2, I've listened to the audio recording of Permission to Mourn. I'm really proud of Permission to Mourn. I am more proud of Becoming Radiant, which I think is the most spectacular thing that came through me to date. But the audio version of the book, as a result of my friend Ellen, who left the planet on my birthday, who I never met, her mother Diantha, her friend who is my friend CW, and CW's buddy Mossy and Dave. That team created a space for me, I trusted them, where I was able to read that book in a way that I honestly can hear my father, who left the planet a year ago, April 8th. I've heard my father many, many, many times say, I'm so proud of you. 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 That's a gift that's going to be available really, really soon. 2.5 is I finished the workbook. The workbook, I resisted it. I resisted it. I resisted it. And as the Holy Spirit tends to do the workbook. Do the workbook. Do the workbook. I released all resistance. The workbook is beautiful. It's beautiful. I am so proud of it. It's such a powerful, powerful tool as a result of working with you and you and you and you, all the people who let me in and let me see and feel and be with them. I poured everything out into that workbook. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. And then 3 is I have this 3-week holiday program. It begins on Monday, December 14th. I wanted to share with you all what it feels like to be in a safe, sacred space. For me, with people that I feel safe with people that see me and hear me and honor me, let me make mistakes, let me fuck up, excuse me if you don't like that word, let me be who I am. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. You do not have to do the holiday season alone. You don't. You do have to invest in yourself if you think you're worth it. if you think you're worth it. It's a 3-week program. We begin and end with a Zoom. There are 2 Zooms in between. Unlike any other program I do, there's a booklet. There's a PDF file. It's a booklet that you can print out. You can access on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet. Every single day, I'm going to give you something to focus on. Monday through Friday, I'm going to be live. You don't have to be with me live, but I'm going to connect with you. There are going to be a group of guides that you know, people that you've gotten to know through me. This is one of them. That's one of them. I'll let you know who the other ones are if you go to my website. The info's there. Take a look at it. If you feel like you're worth it, give yourself the gift. If you guys would, those of you that have done the program, as you kind of reflect back, if someone's kind of on the fence, what do you have to offer them that might say, all right, I'm going to do it? Why should someone consider it?
I think listening to your intuition, and whether you think it's your loved one that has passed or your version of God or the universe, but if you feel that tapping on the shoulder, that nudge, give yourself this gift of being in community and not doing it alone. We're not meant to do life alone. We're certainly not meant to do grief alone. And it's a choice, and you do not have to do it alone. There are kindred spirits out there that you'll connect with, that will become an extended family for you, that will hold space with you, that you will. Grief is like, in my opinion, it's like no other. It binds you so quickly. It bonds you for life. The friendships and the community that you form through your grief family, for me, it's been transformative and life-changing. So if you feel that nudge to consider it, what an amazing gift to give yourself and to those that love you.
That's true. I agree with that. You have to fill your own cup first before you can be of any help to anyone else. I am a mother and a grandmother. I want to create good memories for myself and for my future generations. I don't want every Christmas or holiday that rolls around, or Garrett's birthday or 4th of July, to be painful. I want to be able to organically mention my son's name. He's part of our family, and I want happy memories involved with that. I want my grandchildren to look back and be able to laugh and enjoy and create good memories. And I know it's possible today. One of the main things that I would say is we already know we can suffer. We can do that every single day for the rest of our lives. So that will not bring our beloveds back. We could try something different. And that would be to try to move forward and create new memories and co-create our new life with our beloveds, part of that in everything we do.
I do not believe we were meant to do this grief journey alone. I just don't. I believe we were meant to do it in community.
Yeah, I know I took Tom's 2016 Living with the Holidays was the first program, and it literally was the jump start to my healing. And the reason I took it, I took that leap of faith in doing it because I did not want to be a survivor of the holidays. I wanted to actually be able to enjoy the holidays. And by taking Tom's program, that allowed me to do that. It opened up a whole new way of doing the holidays and having Dylan present and not just surviving it. I just didn't like that word of, okay, well, I survived it. Now let's check that off the list because Christmas comes every year. So the program gave me the tools in order to do that. And not only just the holidays, but like you all said, it created a community for me. But it also gave me the tools to do life moving forward as well. So
For me, it was the connection. I like the connection with other people that I consider them lifelong friends now. I know even some of them, a lot of them I haven't even met in person yet. But I know if I ever did, or if I never ever needed anything, they would do their best they could to help me. And that, even though I know I probably won't use that, it's just very comforting for me to know that that's available. If I'm in Timbuktu and I need, and someone that I know that I met through the holiday program or another program, and I can get a hold of them and they can come help me, I promise you, I know that they will if they can. And that, for me, that brings a lot of comfort and peace. And so that's probably my number one takeaway from the holiday program and the other programs that I've done, just the connection of community with those like-minded people and like-minded souls that would help me to the best of their ability. I love knowing that.
So if this is your first time watching the program, Jessica and I will be live again right here on my YouTube channel next Thursday, 11 a.m. Central. Subscribe, you'll get the notice. I'm going to share this on both of my Facebook pages because it's a really, really important message. If it resonates with you, share it. Share it so the others will know. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it so you will be in the loop. Before we say goodbye, if you could offer folks one wish for the holiday season, what would you wish for them?
For me, telling or saying, I wish them peace, because that's what provided me so much comfort. So I wish you all peace and maybe a little bit of joy along with it.
I would extend the invitation for you to trust yourself that becoming happy again, or being able to feel joy again, is possible. It absolutely is possible.
Coming from a woman who did not believe it was possible.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one wish for everybody listening, I would wish that you wouldn't spend it alone. Do whatever you have to do. Take a program, do the holiday program. If you can't afford that, do something, but please don't do it alone. That's my wish from me to you. Please don't do it alone. It's not necessary and it's not worth it. And in my opinion, it makes it way too hard. Please find somebody.
If the holiday program's out of your reach financially, for free, at 4 p.m. Central on Christmas Day, join our Zoom.
I wish everyone hope. Hope that how you're feeling today isn't how you're going to have to feel tomorrow or the next day or a week from now or a month from now or on the other end of the holiday season. Hope that you will find peace and you will move closer towards healing, because it is possible.
Dawn painted a really beautiful picture of initially resisting this box of ornaments and leaning in, crying, allowing herself to feel pain, and taking an ornament and saying, I'll put one, maybe two on the tree. All right, I can do number 3. Hey, 8 feels pretty good. 12, Dylan. This is my hope. This is my hope. This is my wish. If you believe your beloved is lost, if that's what you believe, and if those are the words that you choose to describe what happens, on some level, you still believe that. Find your beloved. This holiday season, find him, find her. I promise you, they are knocking on your door. They are knocking on your door. Open the door, open the door, open the door. How do you do that? You do that in silence. You turn off the television. You turn off your phone. You turn off the radio. You're in the present moment. I would light a candle. Stare at the candle. It's You and you in this moment, literally open yourself and say, come in, come in, come in, come in, come in. I promise you, your initial response will be, I'm making that up. That's wishful thinking. Not really him, not really her. That's what we human beings do. Do it again. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Sooner or later, if you want to find peace, if you want to find hope, if you want to find community, you say yes. You say yes, you say yes, you say yes. I surrender. That is you. Welcome, 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 welcome. That's the path to peace. That's the path to healing. Thank you for being with me today. I know for some of you, it's
Thank you.
out of your comfort zone. We will be back next Thursday, 11 a.m. Central. I'm gonna stand up, turn this off. If this resonates, please, 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 please share it, share it,